The Madman! Hey, it's time for more custom card review. So we're going back in time to the top cards of custom Hearthstone, November 17th. Note that at this time, not all of the Roslicon's Rumble cards were revealed, so we're gonna see a few different takes on what people thought the Loas and Spirits and certain mechanics should go. Starting with Priest Weapon Magic Mirror, 5 mana 0/3. After your opponent plays a minion, summon a 1/1 copy of it. This is the exact same wording as Hollowmancer, more interesting and more secure when it is moved on to a weapon, though based on how powerful a Hollowmancer was, I think you can see that it's not very good right now. I'll give the design 3 stars. Is 3 stars too generous? We'll give it 3 stars. And then the balance, I'm going to say 2 stars on it because I feel like this is severely overcosted. It would be quite possibly fair at 3 mana even. Like possibly it wouldn't even be that strong at 3 mana. Yes, it gets really good against death rattles in particular, but that's pretty iffy if you're going to match up against that. Finley the Explorer, 6 mana 2/3. Revisiting our favorite Murloc from League of Explorers. Start of game, discover a new basic hero power. Battle Cry, upgrade it. So you always gotta be careful of these start of game effects because they don't take a card, they cost 0 mana, and overall Custom Hearthstone has always designed these to be way too powerful. And this is no exception, even though it is closer to being balanced than a lot of the other ones, since all it does is switch your basic hero power. But the problem is a lot of aggressive decks in the past always played Finley for the purpose, pretty much, of swapping their hero power, because sometimes you high roll and you get the Warlock hero power, which is way better than the Shaman hero power or like any other aggressive deck hero power. And the ability to just start off with it potentially is too powerful. Even if it isn't too powerful from a design perspective, your class would lose a lot of identity if just off the start of the game so many people were just swapping their hero power. And there's also the thoughts of control hunters, for example, might also run Finley the Explorer just to try to swap their hero power into that of warriors, or warlock still. Design 2 stars. The balance is currently 3 stars. I don't think this can really be balanced unless you were to specifically add a deck building restriction to it, similar to Baku, Gad, the Princes, and Keleseth. Because even if this were a 10 mana 1/1, it would still be played. Dethrone, 1 mana warrior card. Destroy a minion. When this spell leaves the history bar, resummon it. Let's just get right to it. Design 1 star. I think any card that references the history bar is terrible. History bar should never be referenced in a game of Hearthstone. Clearly a part of the board that isn't meant to be part of the game. It's like completely separated from the card game. Balance 5 stars. For what it's worth, I think the card is probably fair. Like a temporary destroying of a minion. Worgen Sorcerer, 2 mana 1/3. Whenever you play a 1 health minion, give it health equal to its attack. It's a cool design, similar to Hobgoblin in trying to get specifically 1 health minions as opposed to 1 attack minions. And the payoff is you give it a bunch of health, so that it's no longer a weak 1 health minion. The downside, you have to play this 2 mana 1/3, and you have to play some 1 health minions. There are currently not that many 1 health minions that are in the meta with also high attacks. The exceptions right now would be pretty much Twilight Drake, which does work with this, by the way. Now I give this a 5-star design. 5-star balance. Didn't see any balance issues on it, even though you can give, you could curve Sorcerer 2 into Magnum Rager 3, get a 5/6 on 3. But you'd be playing with some really bad cards. I think I'm okay with this. Rosie Huntress, 2 mana 2/2. Battle Cry, deal 1 damage to a Murloc, 2 damage to a Beast, or 3 damage to a Dragon. Really awesome flavor on this one. 5-star design, 5-star balance. Interestingly enough, you might actually see this tech card be played in today's meta if she were to be printed, because there are so many beasts out there from Hunter right now, and 2 mana 2/2 deal 2 is pretty good. There's even some dragons out there. As a note, it's not that clear what happens when you target Nightmare Amalgam with this card, since it's all of them. The boring answer would be to deal 3 damage to it. Maybe there would be a special case on the Amalgam where she would deal 6 damage to it, since The Amalgam is all 3. But up to Blizzard on how they would implement it if, you know, she were in. Either one's good. Bribable Ogre, 5 mana 7/7. Attacking with this card costs 1 mana. It creates some interesting choices because sometimes you don't attack because you really need that 1 mana, and it's just a big card with a drawback. And I think it's pretty good design for a big card with a drawback. At the 5 mana range, I think that a 6/7 stat line for a vanilla card would be fair. And I know you guys are gonna be like, what is Trump high on? Because isn't 5 mana 5/6 the vanilla stat line? I'm saying a playable 5 mana card would be around 6/7. Therefore, I think that this drawback is fine. The 5 mana 7/7 is fine. 5-star design, 5-star balance. Pretty elegant way to print an overstated minion. And no, you can't spend all of your mana first and then attack. The attacking costs 1. Presumably you would not be able to attack anymore once you spent all the mana. Next we've got an interesting shaman card. The Pebble. 2 mana spell. Deal 3 damage to a minion. Overkill. Add the rock to your hand. 5 mana the rock. Deal 5 damage to a minion. Overkill. Add the boulder to your hand. 8 mana the boulder. Deal 7 damage to a minion. Overkill. Add rocky bottom to your hand. Rocky bottom. 4 mana 8/8. Overkill. Do nothing sadly. Aha! Cool design, I'm gonna say that right now. Card's currently very overtuned because 2 mana deal 3 to a minion is probably fine as a spell already. This adds some, not just some extras to it, it adds a lot of extras to it. To get the rock, you need to deal 3 damage to a 2 health minion, but 2 mana deal 2 and then get a card that is the rock would be very powerful. I'm not even convinced that you need the rocky bottom at the end. Just spell and dispel into a big spell at the end. So this card, I'm going to say design 4 stars. I feel like it's a little bit strange that it's 3 spells into a minion, and certainly you can reclassify the card names because you wouldn't print a spell called the Pebble. This is kind of like design placeholder right now. For balance, I'm going to say 2 stars. Because I feel like every single one of these mana costs would have to be reworked, and the rocky bottom at the end is just too much bonus. My quick suggestion would be the Pebble 3 mana deal 3, the rock maybe 6 mana deal 6, and then the boulder could be 10 mana deal 10 damage to a minion. Excited Fan, 2 mana 2/3, battle cry. If you control a minion with overkill, summon a 1/1 scapegoat for your opponent. This card was designed back in the day when we thought that there might be more overkill cards played, but it turns out there wasn't. So this card looks pretty out of place right now and is obviously far too weak. That said, it's completely okay for the card to just be there as a nice filler card. Excited Fan will give the design 5 stars. It would have been cool to have like a overkill helper card. Balance 4 stars. It can be improved a bit. I would say just summon a 0/1 scapegoat would be completely fair. Next up, we got a batch of Druid cards. So to point out why some of the card names are correct, like War Druid Lodi and Gonk the Raptor, we knew the name of cards that were going to be revealed, but we didn't know what they were going to do. 9 mana War Druid Lodi. Battlecry, summon all minions killed by your hero this game, give them Rush, 7/8. I think that would be an interesting finisher for a Druid. Gonk the Raptor, 6 mana 5/5. Choose 1, upgrade your hero power, or your starting hero power costs 1 this game. A little bit inferior to Malfurion. Choosing to deal 3 or gain 3 armor is probably better than 2 and 2, or like barely not better, but the abilities attached with the Death Knight are a bit more. Swift Scavenger, 6 mana 3/5, rush costs 1 less for each time your hero attacked this game. Pretty straightforward benefit for attacking with your hero. Barrel Fighter, 3 mana 3/3, Battle Cry. If your hero attack this turn, gain +1 attack and rush. Pretty straightforward 3 mana 4/3 as long as you use it alongside your hero power. Worry Greenskeeper, 5 mana 4/5, attack and armor gain from your spells and hero power are doubled. Probably okay on the hero power side. On the spell side, really spooky with Branching Paths. This is like 5 mana 4/5, Battle Cry, gain 12 armor, ridiculous. And then finally 2 mana 2/2, Eager Hatchling. Whenever your hero attacks and kills a minion, this gains +2 health. So, giving the benefit of a lack of knowledge of what was going to come, I'll give the design 4 stars across these cards. Some interesting ideas, especially with the hero attacking synergy. I think this stuff would actually look better than the current stuff even, so that's saying something. Some of these cards are better than some of the cards Druid were given. Balance on this, I'm gonna, in general, give it 3 stars. Some of them need to be buffed or changed, but an interesting insight into how the Druid class could have been more focused on hero attacking. Gral Loa of the Sea. The hypothesized Loa for Rogue. 10 mana, 12/12. Rush, overkill, deal any excess damage to both heroes. Is a 10 mana 12/12 too powerful? No. Is a 10 mana 12/12 with Rush too powerful? Probably. And I only say probably because I'm not absolutely sure. But it does seem a bit too powerful. Like, the reason why most of the big dumb guys at 10 mana don't work is because they don't do anything immediately when they come out. But with enough stats and with Rush, like, you eventually tip the scales too much. And overkill, deal any excess damage to both heroes is kind of an interesting effect, which is unclear whether or not that's good or bad, because Rogue doesn't have any way to gain health, so when I actually think of it as you could consider this a drawback, I'm actually more okay with the balance now. So I'm going to give the design of this one 4 stars, and I'll give the balance 5 stars. Notably, this author didn't realize that Undasta would be printed, and this is a beast, and you could summon it with Undasta. I actually think that's fine. And finally, we have Tempest Caudill, Paladin 7 mana 4/8. Wind Fury, overkill, gain Divine Shield. So it is very close to Stormwatcher, which is a 7 mana 4/8 elemental with Wind Fury. So this Paladin minion pretty much just adds overkill, gain Divine Shield to it. I guess we'll reluctantly give this a 3-star design. Feeling a little generous on that, I feel. Balance, 4 stars. I think that it could just be a little bit stronger, like 7 mana 5/8. We've seen some pretty bad Wind Fury cards make it into decks before because of
Corpse Taker.
Gotta watch for the
Corpse Taker.
Pretty much. Wouldn't see any play outside of a
Corpse Taker
deck. But at some point, I would say after the rotation, you could start to print some pretty decent Wind Fury cards that actually have some pretty big bonuses, such as this one, where each time you kill something, you get the Divine Shield and you get to even attack again, and then use that Divine Shield up and then even gain Divine Shield again. Like, I'm not that scared of it just because when it's played, it's just a 7 mana 5/8. And I'm even saying that after rotation, you could probably make a card like this with even more stats. So I said Corpse Taker instead of Corpse Watcher, or I said Corpse Watcher instead of Corpse Taker. Whatever, Jens will have the right card on the table, no one will care. So there's your top custom Hearthstone cards of the week from last month. We're gonna start catching up on these again. So expect something like 2 of these a week.